Sports Answer.
Yeah. The Sports Answer, Derek and Rudy gang. Lights on, mics high, everybody know the name. We here in this time for a great show. Step into the booth, let the whole city know. The answer now TV, yeah, we locked in. From the field to the court, every hill I'm popping. Stats on the table, real talk motion. Sports world moving, we surfing that ocean. Derek got the insight, Rudy got the spark. Turn the cameras on, we lighting up the dark. If it's trending, we address it. If it's major, we dissect it. No guessing on the set, every take get respected. The Sports Answer, yeah, welcome to the show, where the pressure meet the passion and the real ones know. Subscribe, tap in, tell a friend, let's go. It's Derek and Rudy gang now. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, I would break a hip if I was trying to dance like that.
I got a kick out of
It is the Thursday night delight edition of the Sports Answer. As you can tell, Derek's not with us tonight. We are remote tonight, so you're part of the digital Salem Surround Studios here at the Sports Answer. Be sure to go to Answer Now TV, hit that subscribe button so you're not left out of not only the Sports Answer Thursday Night Delight, not only the Friday Drive, but also for the guy who's with me tonight, the special guest host, Mr. Jeff Garcia. You can catch Spurs in Focus on Answer Now TV as well. And shout out to Salem Surround Studios for your digital marketing needs. You want to give them a call today, 210-526-3635. And also shout out to Navarro Roofing. Hey, we are in San Antonio. We get a ton of hailstorms. And you know what? Navarro Roofing is the best in the business. They work with insurances. They're with you from the start till the end. And they are going to do it right the first time. They're going to make sure everything is smooth for you. And they are going to make sure that hailstorm just never really happened, man. That's Navarro Roofing. They are proud sponsors of us here on the Sports Answer. Be sure to give them a call at 210. I've got the number here somewhere, Jeff. I got it here. 210-680-5070 or visit NavarroRoofing.com. Jeff, welcome, man. I had to get you to sub for Derek because we are doing remote. Derek's not able to join right now. But there's no better six men to call than Jeff Garcia off the bench, man.
That's right. Thank you for the invite. I'll fill some big shoes with Derek absent, but he'll be back, everybody. Don't worry. By the way, after this show, stick around because Spurs In Focus will be live with this guy later on this evening. So appreciate y'all joining on that show later. But right now, it is the Sports Answer. And Rudy, I hear a lot of people have sports questions, so they came to the right place, huh?
Yeah, you know what? This is Sports Answer. When you have the sports questions, we have the Sports Answer. And I'm going to go to a question that you and I debated on a show recently in Spurs In Focus. We're going to let the fans decide too what they have to say about it. So let's kick it off with the Spurs Chisme, Jeff.
So, like, I hear about the Spurs this y Spurs that, y como que esto y esta, pero I never hear about the real Spurs Chisme. Nine, por favor.
All right, Jeff. So let me bring it up here while everybody can see it. Is of course what you and I talked about, and this is the fact that you went out and the Spurs signed, Tobias Harris. I mean, great signing. Everybody was like, "What, Tobias Harris?" No, it's a great signing. Trust me. But as you can see from the latest Spurs Focus, start him or not. Now, we're not benching De'Aaron Fox. We're not benching Wemby. We're not benching Stephon Castle. The two guys that have always been in question are Devin Vassell and Julian Champagny. Now, if you look at both guys, Devin's probably the guy that has the upper hand when it comes to Julian. Now, yeah, Julian's a sharpshooter, and you can make the case, well, Julian needs to be on the floor. But I've always been saying the spacing is better for Julian coming off the bench with that group than it would be as the starter. So let's try to settle this sports question and this sports debate here. For your thoughts, who should be the starter? Should it be Tobias or should it be Julian? Let's just rip that Band-Aid off.
It's a great question because there's a debate, or one side of it is, do you want to mess with that chemistry, that starting unit that got you to the NBA Finals? Do you really want to mess that up? But are you really messing it up? Because Tobias Harris last season, during the regular season, averaged 37% shooting from the three line. So your spacing will still be there. But I think you may have to go with him in the starting unit because although Julian is a sharpshooter, We just said right now, Tobias Harris puts up the numbers. Again, 37% shooting during the regular season with Detroit last year.
Yeah.
But he does more. You nailed it on the head on Spurs in Focus when we debated this. 13 points per game, 5.1 rebounds the last season with the Pistons. And what about this? 1 turnover per game.
Yeah.
1 turnover per game. That's it. He played 63 games last year and only had 1 turnover on average. We've seen Julian cough up the ball more often than not during his play. But at the same time, Julian is an Iron Man. He hasn't really missed any games in 2 seasons now. He's a guy who's reliable. But I think just the intangibles outside of the outside shooting, you may want to lean towards Tobias Harris. And again, you insert some veteran presence.
Yeah.
You insert some guy who has a lot more battle scars than most of the players on the roster, not named Harrison Barnes. And you look at the comparison. We just said Tobias Harris gives you about 13 points per game. Julian last season gave you 11. He shot a little better than Tobias Harris, 39%. But again, you're not going to lose the floor spacing with Tobias if you opt to have Julian sit. But at the same time, Rudy, I think there is something to be said about, do you want to mess the chemistry up with the team that brought you to the NBA Finals? But then do you want to bench a guy like Tobias Harris? It's a good problem to have. You're San Antonio, but I think you lean towards Tobias starting.
You got to lean a little bit towards Tobias starting. And, I think chemistry is the biggest concern that a lot of Spurs fans maybe are looking at. Hey, you got a team that this starting 5 was able to get you to the NBA Finals. They went out and won 62 games. Why are you going to mess with something that's not broken? Well, you're technically not messing with a broken lineup, Jeff. You're actually improving a starting 5 with Tobias Harris. I mean, you got to remember Tobias Harris in his days, with the LA Clippers and the Philadelphia 76ers, he was averaging almost 20 points a game during that time span. Look at last season when Cade Cunningham was out for the Detroit Pistons. It was Tobias Harris that was getting Detroit across the finish line. He averaged I think it was 18 points last year for Detroit, 18 points in the playoffs. So he's got a career, and this is where the separation is for me. The Spurs are going to be a playoff team. They've already proven it. They went out and got 62 wins. Are they going to get 62? Probably not. The NBA is going to be a little bit better this year, especially with those tanking rules. But this is where it separates it for me. He has a career scoring playoff average of 16.5 points a game. That is huge for a team full of young guys that went into their first playoff run. Remember, De'Aaron Fox was the most veteran person when it came to playoff performance in that starting 5, and he had very little playoff experience. Harrison Barnes, yeah. Kelly Olynyk, yeah. Luke Cornett, yeah. But those guys are riding the pine. You mean to tell me that the Spurs, when he got Tobias Harris, 16.5 playoff points, he performs better in the playoffs, average-wise and career-wise, than he does in the regular season? So, I mean, this screams to start right away for San Antonio. This screams, hey, we've got the guy that's going to help us get across this NBA title finish line. That's the reason why I think he starts right away. But right away, Jeff, game 1, game 1, does he not maybe make that first starting spot until All-Star weekend? I mean, do the Spurs get off to a fast start? Say they go with a normal 5 and they get off to a 12-2 start. Do you mess with that chemistry?
Yeah, it's tough. And you look at if you look at the numbers between the two players, it's close. It's close. Now, earlier I did say that Tobias Harris averaged 1 turnover per game during the regular season. I'm standing corrected. For Julian Champagnie, guess how many turnovers per game he averaged? 0.8. It's close. It's super close. Okay, so what about just field goal percentage shooting? That's all. It doesn't matter from the 3 line or inside the 3 line. So you start out with Tobias Harris last year with the Pistons. He shot 47% from the field in general. Julian Champagnie, 44%. It's close, buddy. It is so close. It's kind of hard to lean on the plus minus because 2 different conferences, 2 different teams, 2 different situations.
Exactly.
But Tobias Harris was a plus 5.8 for the Pistons last year, while the Spurs Champagny was plus 7.2. All right, fine. Can we dig deeper? What about fouls drawn? Well, Tobias averages 1.7 fouls drawn per game with the Pistons last year. Champagny 1.0. Super close, super close. So what about rebounding? All right. Well, we started with defensive rebound, 4.3 for Tobias, 4.9 for Julian. You see where I'm going with everybody. It's a close call. So I think what you do, I guess the lesser headache path is to start Tobias, because if you don't and you have him off the bench, does he become automatically your sixth man, pushing Keldon further down the bench?
Yeah.
So I think you may have to go Tobias, because I think Julian Champagny is willing to accept a smaller role next season.
Yeah, it's going to, I mean, we don't know for a fact. I mean, you got Mitch Johnson and the coaching staff, who's done a magnificent job last season. And then, of course, you're adding Billy Donovan. They're going to figure this out. And they're going to go into training camp. They're going to go into preseason already figuring this out. I think the needle goes towards Tobias Harris starting over Julian Champagny. And for all we know, it could be Devin that goes to the bench and they start Julian and Tobias. We really don't know. But the one thing that is a guarantee is that a young Spurs team is a year older. They are a year wiser. They were, literally 3 games away from being, NBA champion. So there's really no weakness on this team, now when you're talking about veterans, because Tobias adds that veteran who, when you're up 29 points, you're not going to go 0 of 8 from beyond the arc and just chunk threes up and take bad shots. No, you have another guy that understands, where do you score the most? In the paint. What's the best way to score when you're in a scoring drought? Get to the line. He can draw a foul. So this is where I think it separates Tobias Harris and Julian. And even if Tobias comes out off the bench, Jeff, I mean, he's still probably going to get 29 minutes a game.
But Rudy, again, it's super close. Different situations, different conferences, different teams. I understand that. But if we just go by the numbers, free throws attempted last season for Champagny, 1.6. Tobias Harris, 2.5. A little bit of an edge there to Tobias Harris. So again, I go, okay, fine. Well, maybe Tobias Harris's value will come up in the playoffs where the Spurs desperately needed veteran presence. It sways, man. It sways. So Tobias raised his game up big time for Detroit. 18 points per game. He was a plus 0.7 for the Pistons, 7.2 rebounds. While Julian Champagny, 11.2 points per game, 5.7 rebounds. He was a plus 5.5. But listen to this, 3-point shooting. In the postseason, Champagny shot nearly 40%, 39.6. He was taking about 6.7 attempts from the 3 line, making about 3. Tobias Harris, now, again, limited time, limited games, because Detroit didn't have a longer push. 14 games, playoffs for the Pistons with Tobias, 29% shooting from the 3 line, averaging about 4.6 attempts. So again, it's a close call. It can go either way, but I think the Spurs lean to Harris simply because the ripple effect of the bench may be less impactful. You can still have KJ as your 6th man leading that second unit with So imagine this: Champagny, KJ, Cornette, Dylan Harper, those guys coming off the bench. That's your second unit. That's not bad.
No, it's not bad. Dylan Harper already a superstar in the making. Julian Champagny coming off of a championship run as part of the starting 5 for San Antonio, 6th man of the year, Keldon Johnson. I mean, those 3 guys alone already bolster a bench. Luke Cornette, again, he's just going to be there to pick up space in the middle. So I like what I see there. And then you're adding Carter Bryant, who hopefully could take another step on that second string. So you're right, man. I mean, if you flip a coin and it lands on Tobias Harris, awesome. If it lands on Julian Champagny, guess what? You're still awesome, because now you've got a veteran guy in Tobias Harris coming off the bench, helping that second string. There's really no loss in this. And I truly think fans are upset for no reason. I mean, you have one side pushing for Harris, one side pushing for Julian. You're going back and forth, you're battling back and forth, and it's no big deal whatsoever. I think everybody in play, even, take the comments of Dylan Harper, Jeff. People are asking, well, you should start. To him, it's not about starting. It's just, I'm a part of the NBA. I'm a part of the brotherhood, man. I'm in the league. What more can anyone ask for? He knows his time's going to come. And I think with Tobias signing, he has that same mentality. Great
Yeah.
locker room guy. Never has had anything bad to say about him. So I
do
think
you
he'll
give
accept any role.
Do you give an edge to Champagnie because of his durability? Again, played 82 games last year, played 82 games the year before. You look at last season, the total games, that's regular season and postseason, Harris played 77 out of 96 games for the Pistons. Now, check this out. Some of the injuries he dealt with last year: left knee contusion, left hip injury, left hip injury management, left hip soreness, hip sprains, ankle sprains, right ankle sprains. Do you want a guy who's seeing some injuries start to mount up in his later career in that starting unit, or perhaps preserve him because he has a history of injuries on the bench?
See, this is something that we didn't talk about on Spurs in Focus, and it gives you a little bit more insight onto what we want to talk about. And that's true. I could play that into a fact. I mean, that is a good card to play because, I mean, yeah, Tobias has been playing 70 plus games before last season, roughly, for the last 6 years. Last year he played 63 games in the regular season. So, I mean, yeah, you're getting, what is that, 3/4 of the at least 3/4 of the season with Tobias Harris.
Yeah, and again, that was for playoffs and regular season combined.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, I that's a good point. Julian staying in the starting five, kind of preserving Tobias for the postseason. How much do you think that affects the decision? I mean, it's injuries, but at 34 years old, that's almost like past your prime in the NBA when it really isn't supposed to be.
Yeah.
That's a good one, man. I'm on. That's a good.
Do you mind if I share a chart with the fans?
You got it. Go ahead.
Let's go. There it is. That was last season for Tobias Harris, which is not terrible. I mean, it's not horrible, but he injured 19 of the total games he could have played.
So
the Spurs are all about preserving the health of players. He's coming into the situation getting banged up a lot with the Pistons already.
So let me ask you this now. This chart brings up a lot. Well, do you think he had injuries last season and injuries in other seasons because he's always been maybe that second, third option? In the San Antonio Spurs, he's probably your fourth, maybe fifth option. So there's less wear and tear and less physicality on what he has to do as part of an NBA team.
No, that's a good point too. I mean, but our point is clear. If you were to say Champagnie's starting to start the new season, I'll be all right, cool. If you say Tobias Harris is starting, all right, cool. But I think the lesser headache for the coaching staff is to have him start, because I think if you move him to the bench, that shuffles so much.
It shuffles a lot. And that's even saying, you've got Harrison Barnes who's going to take over that Olenek spot. He's going to maybe get a few minutes here and there, but you don't expect him to get a whole lot of run. We got some comments. Tim saying, "What's good, guys?" We definitely can't understand that, but they said 100%, I think, on the Champagnie and Tobias talk that we've got. Jeff or Rudy, if you can pull up, if compared to 92-93 Spurs versus this past season Spurs, are there any similarities? That's going a long time ago, Tim. Long time ago. And then JC, the T-Man, he says, the starting five plus bench and rotations into postseason championships loading, over under on regular season wins set at 60. That is probably, I think you and I have talked about the over and under for wins. I don't know if they get to 60 wins. I want to say that if they do, they get to 61 maybe. But can you see 58? Can you see under 60 wins this year?
No. I could see 60 or more.
So you put it right at 60.
60 or more, yeah. Because is the West really deep with power, or is it really top heavy? You really have to deal with the Spurs. You're really bone. I mean, the thorn to pick on your side is just the Thunder and I guess maybe Denver.
Well, Denver's going to run it back. So I would say Denver. Yeah. Minnesota didn't get any better. They got LaMelo Ball, but they lost Naz Reid and Julius Randle. So their inside presence is kind of gone. Utah is going to make a case. They've got an up and coming.
Yeah, but they're not ready yet.
No, Portland.
The Blazers are still not ready yet.
Portland are still cooking. They're still, they're still got a little more to cook in there.
Dallas still needs cooking.
Dallas is another. Now they're getting Kyrie back, so does that help some? Maybe if the Kawhi deal, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, falls through, do the Clippers look a little bit better? That's a tough one.
The West got weaker, I think.
I think so. I think the West has gone a little bit weaker compared to the East. I think the Eastern Conference is going to be the most exciting conference this coming season. It's got to be. I mean,
it's got to be. No. Giannis is over there. LeBron goes back to the East. Brunson and the Knicks are there.
Yeah.
The Toronto's Halliburton's coming back with the Pacers.
Cleveland and Detroit.
Cleveland and Detroit are up and coming. As far as the West, though, to me, it's just a 3-team race. Spurs, Thunder, and I guess Denver, throw it in there. I don't know what Houston's doing. They have so much potential to be a lot better. And they're just, I don't know, whatever they're doing, but who knows? The Pelicans ain't no way they're ready.
No.
Grizzlies, they're on a rebuild right now.
Well, John Morant's in Portland too.
Portland, that is your wild card. I think Portland is your wild card there.
Tim is saying that Utah could be a playing team.
And in the West, yes, probably.
I see that. I see West, Utah. Yes. I can see Utah being a playing team there. I mean, really, outside of that, man, it's difficult to think who in the West. I mean, Golden State's probably on the downward spiral. Sacramento, no. I mean, the Lakers, you're going to put the Lakers in there just kind of by default with, Luka and Reeves. They got added Walker Kessler. They did add some few pieces there. But, I mean, you're probably right. It might be like a 3-team race in the Western Conference. So can they get to 60? I'm probably going to lean right at that 60 mark. I'll be there with you. I think the 60 mark. Originally, I had them at 58. This was pre-Tobias Harris signing. With Tobias, I think he adds at least maybe 2 or 3 wins. So maybe 60, 61 wins. This is Jeff Garcia, Spurs in Focus. Be sure to join a live edition of Spurs in Focus when we're done here. Give us a few minutes. We're going to go ahead and jump on for Spurs in Focus Live, again, where you guys out there can interact. We got some great topics coming up for that. And you know what, Jeff? There's another topic, Spurs Chisme topic that kind of came up a little bit. It's kind of having a little bit of fun. Before we go to our first and only commercial break here at the Sports Answer for the Thursday Night Delight Edition, let's show it, man. That is one Steph Curry who right now is, doesn't really know. I know Golden State's probably going to re-sign him, but let's have a little bit of fun with the Chisme here. Curry to the Spurs. Now, ideally, it's going to be De'Aaron Fox guaranteed. And you would probably even give up Keldon or Devin to make the money work, and plus a lot of draft picks. I mean, you're probably making, when I say a lot, 3, maybe 2 at minimum first-round picks. So say the Golden State does want to move him. They want to rebuild. They did sign Draymond Green to a 1-year deal. They re-signed him.
Yeah, overpaid him.
Overpaid him for 1 year. So that kind of tells me that they're going to run with the team for right now. But here it is, come trade deadline, Jeff. If the Warriors are stinking up the gym, not winning any games, the likes of Jimmy Butler, the likes of Steph Curry and Draymond even, they could blow it up and they could move these pieces.
I see Curry as a Nowitzki, Duncan, Kobe, sticking with the one team until their bitter end. I don't see him moving out of Golden State. Again, unless he says he wants out.
Well, Tim wanted out. People got to remember.
Tim wanted. Oh, technically he did. Yeah, he did.
I mean, he was signed, sealed, and delivered to Orlando. But
yeah,
I mean, thanks Doc Rivers. You can thank him for that.
By the way, Doc always says that's not true. He says that was fabricated. But anyway, as far as number 30 in San Antonio, I mean, on paper the Spurs can make it work in a deal, but. And you wouldn't have to trade any way of your core pieces, being Victor, Stefan, and Castle, Fox,
and
as you mentioned, Harper. I don't see it going that far, but he would if he comes to San Antonio, then the West is a wrap. It's a wrap. I don't see the Spurs. Losing the West. I don't see something dramatic like Victor going out with an injury or Curry out for a while. But I'm not buying stock in it. I think he will ultimately stay with the Warriors. Still have a long off season. Still got about 2.5 months left in the off season. Anything can happen. I don't see it happening, Rudy. I just don't.
I truly don't think it happens. I mean, the possibility is there because he's got maybe 3 years left on his career. I would think maybe 3 years, and he calls it a career.
He's still playing like top quality though, man. Jeez.
He still is, and I get, he's the Nowitzki, the Kobe, the Tim type of guy that wants to stay home and wants to stay in Golden State. But you have to always keep in mind is that if you want to win, you want to go somewhere where you're going to get an opportunity. Golden State's title run was over for a while. I mean, it's been over for a long while. So if he wants to stay in Golden State and just finish his career there, then by all means, sign an extension there and just stay there for good. And if losing's not even a worry for you, then hey, don't bother with losing. But if he wants an attempt to win another title or possibly two, since I say he's got 3 years left, I mean, you're right. The Spurs are probably one of the teams, and OKC's another one that can definitely make it happen. And it wouldn't cost San Antonio more than what we said, De'Aaron Fox and either Keldon or Devin. And I mean, they're going to ask for Harper. They're going to ask for Castle. But if they want them and they say no and they're consistent, you just hang up the phone. I mean, there's no reason to mess around with it.
I don't see it happening though. I don't. It'd be just. I mean, I say I don't think it'll happen, but then years ago, if you had asked me would Luka ever be traded from the Mavericks, I would have said hell no.
You wouldn't think, right?
But here we are. If somebody asked me, like, you ever see Giannis not staying in Milwaukee? I would have said, yeah, I see him stay there until the bitter end. Oh, now he's a Heat. So stranger things have happened. But, man, I mean, you're giving a lot up for a 2-year rental, though, are you?
Well, okay. I'm glad you said that because that was my selling point. You want to get off. Okay, so me personally, De'Aaron Fox makes total sense for San Antonio. I know the money. I've always said the money is the biggest issue for everybody out there. We're paying him X number of dollars, $49, $50 million a year. He's not worth it. Okay, fine. If that's your only argument, Jeff, you're essentially trading De'Aaron for Stephon, 2-year rental. So that tells me that you are getting out of the De'Aaron Fox contract. And in that year or two that Steph is here, you open up the window for Dylan Harper to start with no De'Aaron Fox talk. So it's a better win-win situation if you do move on De'Aaron and bring in Stephon Curry or Steph Curry, because then all that Dylan Harper talk kind of mellows out.
Yeah.
I mean, so you're getting out from under the contract that so many fans hate out there.
I mean, and you're replacing him with, although albeit a 2-year rental, but Hall of Fame bound player.
One of the greatest shooters of all time. I mean,
and we talk about floor spacing in the first segment, man. Imagine that floor spacing. That guy gets cooking. Oh my goodness.
I mean, you're talking about unguardable team. I mean,
pretty much, yeah.
That's a very unguardable team. And then you go Steph, Stephon, Victor.
Do they challenge the Bulls season where they only lost 19 games, or was it 19?
Well, I mean, the Warriors hold the record with 73, right?
I thought the Bulls.
They went 73 and 9.
They broke the Bulls record? Okay.
Yeah, so the Bulls went 72 and 10. I think the Warriors went 73 and 9.
Okay.
I don't think we see that ever again. I don't think so. I think maybe we see a 70-win team, but I think those two records are pretty solidified unless you're getting a dream team type of, franchise put together.
You mean like in Philly or no?
Good God. Philadelphia, they don't have a bench, man. I mean, I have them at about 57 wins, maybe 56 wins. They don't have a bench, dude. They're Joel Embiid, I'd rather say when he gets hurt. I mean, there's going to be, missed games there. LeBron James, he hasn't been very healthy the past few years. He's been missing some games. Jaylen Brown, no idea how he's going to work in Philadelphia. He has to have the ball in his hand. He wants the ball in his hand. But then you got a player like Tyrese Maxey, who's probably been their best player for the past few years. So I'm curious to see how it works. But I don't think Philadelphia comes close to winning. If they win 65, 66 games, I'd be shocked if Philadelphia did.
Really?
Yeah, I'd be
So
definitely shocked.
the bench, I'm not too familiar with the Sixers, but they had a D Wade. Well, the new D, not the old D Wade.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dean Wade was,
Dean Wade, yeah.
their biggest addition.
KCP's going over there.
KCP. There was some rumor that Klay Thompson was going to be bought out and go that direction too. Which again, if Klay Thompson goes, maybe KCP when he gets there, put him at 57, 58 wins, but I still don't see. I mean, Dean Wade, Anthony Simmons. I mean, hey, Dominic Barlow's still there. I mean,
he's been getting better with it every season.
Yeah, I mean, then they got LeBaron Pylon, who's a rookie, but they haven't. Their strength is their starting five with no bench.
Yeah.
I mean, there's really nothing that they have to offer.
We debated this on recent Spurs in Focus. Who has the better starting five, Spurs or Sixers? And we gave the edge to the Spurs. Why? Youth, athleticism, and defense. I think they're more. We think they're a more athletic team than the Sixers. Starting five.
Wemby. Well, are you considering a healthy Joel Embiid in that?
Yes.
Because remember, a healthy Joel Embiid gave Wemby 70 points.
Yeah, but that was rookie Embiid.
That was rookie Wemby, but a healthy Joel Embiid can be a very big problem, for Wemby. I don't know, man. That's a good one.
Would all be Spurs, right? I mean, they want to play downhill. Let's go.
Yeah. I mean, Maxey, Edgecombe, and Brown can run.
Mm-hmm.
Brown's a good defender. So, I mean, you can kind of cross out Brown and Steph Castle on the defensive side. I mean, they're pretty good defenders. They're probably the best. De'Aaron Fox has more experience than Maxey, but Maxey
he's
probably is a better scorer.
Mm-hmm.
Edgecombe against who would you put? Devin Vassell?
Yeah, Vassell, yes, yeah.
I mean, that's kind of a push, I think. Edgecombe played really well as a rookie. LeBron against
Tobias, that Spurs unit is better than.
I would say defensively, yeah. I would give them the edge defensively.
And I would give the Spurs starting five the durability edge over the Sixers.
It's tough for me to say that the Spurs would be better than that starting five. I can give you the positives to it. I can see why you say that. I'm looking at it now. I can see why you say it, but that starting five for Philadelphia, that's pretty. If they stay healthy, that's a pretty good start. That's probably one of the better starting fives we've seen in the NBA in a long time.
Yeah, we gave the edge offensively to the Sixers starting five over the Spurs because if Brown or James or Maxey, hell, Embiid gets cooking, that's a long night. And you don't know if you're going to get Vassell cooking or Champagne or Harris starting, cooking. Wemby will be Wemby. He's going to get his. Castle likely will get his. Fox should get his. But any night, 3, 4, or 5, all 5 of those guys can have their nights.
So let me ask you, would this be a perfect Christmas Day game?
Oh, perfect. I think so.
This would be awesome. This would be a great, perfect Christmas Day
Although
game.
the NBA is going to give it to Spurs Thunder. That's
well, I actually think I'm going to go on record. I don't have the schedule in front of me. I'm going to go on record and say that that's opening night, Spurs Thunder. I think the NBA is.
It's always been Spurs Mavericks for the last few years. Opening night.
But you don't want to downgrade the San Antonio Spurs to janitorial duty against Dallas on opening night. You want to give them.
What about opening night Spurs Knicks? Early.
I thought about that, but no, you don't want to. I don't think you.
Spurs Knicks has to be Christmas, right? Spurs at.
Well, they've done Spurs Knicks Christmas in the past, so
several times, not just recently, several times.
I would think that would be a perfect Christmas Day matchup. So give me Spurs Knicks at Christmas. That would be good, man. Overall, Steph Curry coming to San Antonio. It's rumors. It's all it is rumors. Does it happen? We feel like it's probably not going to happen. No, it's definitely not going to happen at all. So we'll kill those rumors now. This is Jeff Garcia, Spurs in Focus. We got a commercial break coming up. And on the way back, well, we're going to talk about a former Spur who everybody loves. And then that guy that went to Philadelphia. Thank you, LeBron James. He's going to be doing a documentary And I got a question for Jeff when it comes to his documentary and a Spurs documentary that hasn't been released and never will be released, probably because it's never been short. It's never been recorded or anything. We'll get into that more here at the end after this commercial break. Here it's Jeff Garcia, it's Rudy Campos Jr. Quick commercial break, and we'll be back.
Can I help you?
Yes, madam. I'm a roofing contractor, and I'm giving out free estimates to lucky homeowners today. Would you like one?
Nancy, don't do it!
Wait, who said that?
Up here, Nancy! I'm your roof! Be careful, that guy is not a roofer!
Yes, I am. And I have a brand new shining ladder to prove it.
Well, where's your ladder?
Right there in my truck. The one with the Michigan license plate.
Nancy, why don't you call Navarro Roofing? They're the ones who replaced me last time. They have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, and they've been in business since 1968.
I remember my dad used them to replace our roof when I was just a kid. I'm going to call Navarro Roofing. Besides, they did my neighbor's house, and it looks amazing. And the cleanup was excellent.
Before you let anyone talk you into a good deal, call the Chamber of Commerce and see if they're actually local. Navarro Roofing is local and supports our local business.
That's the best call I ever made. Thanks, Roof.
Don't trust out-of-state storm chasers. Trust the name Texas has relied on for generations. Call Navarro Roofing today at 210-680-5070 or visit navarrosroofing.com.
Looking for the inside track on the silver and black? From deep dive analysis to breaking news on Wemby and the squad, get it all at Spurs In Focus. Join veteran beat writer Jeff Garcia for the ultimate one-stop spot for all things San Antonio Spurs. Subscribe now at spursinfocus.substack.com.
Billboards, gas stations, gyms, grocery stores, and more.
Salem Media puts your brand in front of San Antonio wherever life takes them.
Call 210-526-3626. Call 210-526-3626 and get noticed.
You know your business inside and out, but does your community? With Salem Media's podcast and video production services, you can share your expertise and connect with customers on their commute or wherever they listen. We handle production and distribution, so your content reaches the right ears on multiple podcast platforms. Stop letting competitors own the conversation. Call Salem Media today and ask about our local business podcast packages. Call Chris at 210-526-3631. 210-526-3631.
All right, welcome back to the Sports Answer, the Thursday night delight edition of the Sports Answer. It's Spurs In Focus's own Jeff Garcia, special guest host with me tonight. Navarro Roofing, 210-680-5070, Salem Surround. They are both the sponsors of the Sports Answer. You can go to salemsurround.com/San Antonio or call them 210-526-3635 today. Again, thank you for both sponsors, Navarro Roofing and Salem Surround, proud sponsors of us here at the Sports Answer. This is the Thursday night delight edition. And Jeff, I got to bring it up. People do not like this guy, but we got to talk about Kawhi Leonard in the news.
Let's do it.
Man. So of course everybody knows, the whole aspiration or whatever it is, tree company thing. Now it comes out that the whole soccer or FC team that he has in Rhode Island, this is more cover up, yada, yada, yada. It's coming out. The Raptors are going to refuse. Now, again, before I go to the rest of it, the Terry Rozier thing kind of screwed it up for everybody too, because remember, Miami traded for Terry Rozier. Then he went out with the whole gambling thing and betting and everything. So they kind of got screwed on that deal. The Raptors don't want to take a chance with the Kawhi deal in case anything happens. So until everything is cleared, this whole trade is going to be null and void. For Toronto. Good move by the Raptors. You don't want to lose, the guys like Grady Dick, Brandon Ingram, those guys, were helping you in last year's playoff run. So I understand that. But what news came out today with Kawhi? Because it's just so much coming out, and it's a big old storm that I can't even keep up with anymore.
It's basically aspiration, the same concept, but with a soccer team in Rhode Island. So it mirrors each other. Okay. So basically, there's a soccer team in Rhode Island, and it was discovered that Kawhi, his uncle, now then agent, have a piece of the ownership in this Rhode Island soccer team, kind of like SAFC. It's RIFC. Okay, same concept. So remember, like in Aspiration, there really wasn't no hoopla like, hey, we have Kawhi Leonard on board and look at all he's doing with the planting of the trees and promoting him and everything. The same concept applies here again.
Yeah.
They were not promoting it. They were not celebrating Kawhi joining as a part owner. It was to the point where the Rhode Island FC promoted Daniel Theis becoming a part owner, but they ignore Kawhi Leonard. It was also discovered that a political official there in Rhode Island was flying to a Clippers game. And the big question is like, why was he silent? And then they link it to when his Uncle Dennis was his agent, made a request to the Raptors and other teams that, hey, if Kawhi wants to play for you, he needs to be a part owner of a team. And they all said, no, he can't do that.
Yeah.
Here we are. So it mirrors Aspiration. It's the same thing. So what they're trying to get at is everything that Kawhi wanted to join the Clippers came true through secret means. In this case, he wanted to be a part owner of a team. He became the part owner of a team, but of a soccer team in Rhode Island. And now they were supposed to be planting trees with Aspiration. The Rhode Island partnership was supposed to help low-income housing and create housing for low-income people. That never happened as well. No trees were planted. No homes were built in Rhode Island. It's the same concept, just different foundation.
The NBA can't let this go, can they? I mean,
well, apparently the report is that this is going to leak into the season.
So, and again, that's where I wanted to go with this. Was my question, the sports question that we've got is, it leaks into the season. Does he play? Yeah,
I think he plays because there's been no finding of you did wrong. Kawhi.
For who?
For Kawhi and the Clippers. I think he plays for the Clippers. I don't think he does. Oh, I see what you're saying. The trade does not happen.
So he plays for the Clippers.
Yeah, he plays for the Clippers. Yeah.
Okay. So then, that's then that also goes to the whole. Well, is the trade basically pulled from the table because it hasn't been extended yet?
If you're the Raptors, you have to say yes. You don't want that headache at all.
Man,
do you really want to bring in that headache if you're the Raptors?
No. I'm saying, say Adam Silver says this is going into the NBA season, which is going to go into the season, and then all of a sudden it comes out 20 games into the season. Hey, it's clear. There's no issues. There's no problem. The trade can go through.
I think so. Yeah, I think the Raptors would be like, okay, we're on board.
Man, that's crazy though. Because
at this point,
what if the Raptors are 18-2?
I know it's Kawhi Leonard bringing him back to the city that he helped win a title. I get all that, but is it really worth it? Is it really worth it? Look, I thought also Kawhi was so about being in California. Now he's okay with being in Toronto.
Well, yeah, he doesn't get all the limelight being like he does in California with all this going on.
Yeah,
but the reason why I ask it is this: because what if the Raptors get off to a very fast start, and then they're like, "Oh, hey, the trade can go through now," but you've got Brandon Ingram still cooking in Toronto. That team is gelling. Well, then the Raptors say, "Well, no, we don't want to do the deal." Well, technically, the deal was made. Mm-hmm. It can go through. You said you would cancel the deal if we found anything wrong. No wrongdoings are done. Mm-hmm. Everything is fine. Then does the NBA force the deal through? And then Toronto's like, well, wait a minute. We're sitting at 15-5 after 20 games. We don't want to do this deal no more. How do you get out of that?
Man, this is tough. But it's my point. If you're the Raptors, why don't you just
kill it now?
Kill it now. Just kill it now. This is not worth it. And also, too, it could be one of those trades not happen that could be beneficial for the Raptors. They were not a bad team last year. They were not.
No, playoff team. I mean,
they were a playoff team. And obviously, Kawhi elevates them into another level. And according to the trade proposed, you're not giving up a lot.
No.
So, but Brandon at the same time, that's the team. Dick. Yeah, that's the team that got you the playoffs. So there could be something cooking there. I think right now the ball's in the NBA's court side of the court here. Mm-hmm. But with all this mounting evidence and circumstantial evidence and very eye-opening documents and behavior, whether it be from Aspiration, Ballmer, now a Rhode Island soccer team and their political officials out there, it seems to me they covered this up to try to circumvent. It just seems that it's leaning that way. And let's just say the NBA says, yeah, there was some shenanigans. Bad on you, Kawhi, Uncle Dennis, Clippers, Rhode Island, whatever. What do you think the punishment will be? Will they ban him? They're going to ban him.
I think Ballmer gets probably can you say maybe over a $500 million fine?
Oh man, Ballmer there's probably nothing in his pocket. But
no, that's nothing for him.
Yeah,
and then maybe they lose draft picks. I would say as a team,
I can see
but that's the problem. Is who takes the fall? Is it the Clippers or is it Kawhi? Because the Clippers are paying his salary, and if they were found out they're using another fake company to draw money to pay his salary, it didn't really come out of Ballmer, then who's at fault? You can't blame Kawhi for taking money from somebody else. No one's going to turn down money. So then Kawhi should be cleared of things. This is the part where it's so confusing, and it's something to where it's like, well, why can't the NBA just grow a pair and make a decision, pretty quick here? You're and who's to blame? I mean, if you get paid, you get paid. Let me ask you, you are Kawhi Leonard, Jeff. Do you get paid where you care where your paycheck comes from, or as long as you get paid?
As long as you get paid.
As long as you get paid. That's all it is. So at the end of the day, whether the Clippers are paying him or Aspiration is paying him or UNLV, FC, whatever, who cares, right? As long as he's getting paid. So that's where I think they need to see everything and be like, okay, this is where we need to figure this out. And that's the problem.
What do you think? There are shenanigans? Do you think there are shenanigans?
Absolutely. I mean,
there is.
Absolutely there's shenanigans. But that's the big question is who's going to pay for it? Is Kawhi going to get a 15-game suspension? Ballmer going to get fined, $500 million and lose, 4 first-round draft picks over the next 10 years or something? We don't know the penalty. And if it's like, well, why is Kawhi getting penalized? He's the one that got paid. Well, it's his name on, these businesses, on these LLCs. Mm-hmm. Okay, so then why are you involving Ballmer then? Well, it's the Clippers. Well, it's hard to point the finger and keep the finger on one side of this story. It really is.
And also, too, I think outside of this Kawhi mess, wasn't Ballmer in trouble years ago for something similar?
Yeah, he's been in trouble.
Yeah,
I think for sure, at least one time.
I remember that. Yeah, and the NBA hushed that up quick.
Yeah, we're going to get more into the Kawhi Leonard. We'll see how this unfolds. And we got the last topic here before we got to go. Again, don't forget, when we're done here, give us a few minutes, probably 20, 30 minutes or so. You'll see Spurs in Focus live for the live edition of Spurs in Focus with Jeff Garcia and myself. So be sure to tune into that. And you know what, Jeff, the last thing is obviously we're bringing this in now. Came out, obviously. There's a certain guy. I forgot his name. Can you help me with the name?
James.
Ron James. That's his name. There was no secret. Wherever he went, he was going to do a documentary. They want to do it similar to Michael Jordan's The Last Dance. Ho-hum, right? I mean, they compare him to the GOAT. Why not do it like the GOAT, basically? Cameras are going to be following him all over through Philadelphia, wherever the Sixers play. It's going to be documenting his entire season. They're going to use past seasons, with the Lakers, Cleveland, Miami, probably even high school days. They're going to use all that for a documentary. So it made me think. So we like to have a little fun with Spurs history. And I'm like, okay, what can we do documentary-wise? You cannot pick a Spur star, superstar, all-star, nobody like that, any award winner. You have to pick a basic Spur.
Basic Spur.
Who would Jeff Garcia in the history of San Antonio basketball?
I got a good one for you.
Who would you like to see a documentary on?
I will answer that, but before I continue, may I share something on your screen?
Go for it.
Okay, this is just Maverick Carter, LeBron's longtime agent. He says they are not doing anything like The Last Dance. LeBron doesn't even know when his last season is. So according to Maverick Carter, LeBron's agent, he's denying reports of any type of documentary, Last Dance style documentary happening in Philadelphia. So keep that in mind. But we're going to have fun with this, though. But if there was one, let me think. I got a good one for you, Rudy. I got a really good one for you. I would love to see a documentary on Alvin Robertson.
Can't. He's an all-star.
Oh, then you said basic. Like
No.
I'm thinking like Hall of Fame level.
Cannot have any All-Star appearances.
Cannot have any else. Okay.
No award winners. He was an all-time. He's a steals leader, so it has to be a basic run-of-the-mill player, and it can't be anybody on the current roster. So
cannot be an All-Star or
cannot have won an award. Yeah, no accolades.
Oh, man.
No nothing. Alvin Robertson would have been a good one. Trust me, he would have been an amazing
that would
one.
have been a great one. Now think about that. I'm surprised there has not been one. That would have been a perfect 30 for 30. That would be perfect for it.
I mean, we've been known to do documentaries here, so maybe we'll go into an Alvin Robertson documentary. That might be a good one.
That might be a good one. All right, I got one for you. Willie Anderson.
That was the first person that I thought of was Willie Anderson. What makes Willie Anderson so special in Jeff Garcia's head?
Why he can never go behind the 3-point line when his toe was always on the 3 line.
Yeah.
I always thought he was a good player. He was kind of the de facto go-to guy for the Spurs for a while.
Yeah.
In San Antonio. But I would love to know what happened after San Antonio, because he went to Toronto, I believe.
Yeah.
I think Toronto is where his next stop was. And then he just fell off the map. His brother, Shannon Anderson, got more burn and love than his Willie did.
Yeah.
Also, I'd love to know, the legends of his night outs in San Antonio.
We've talked about that a couple of times with Derek. Those are, and Willie, the thing is like you mentioned, he was that de facto go-to guy for a while there.
He wasn't that bad of a player. He was good. He wasn't great, but he was a good player. Willie Anderson would be one for me. Another one for me is Sweet Pea Daniels.
Lloyd Daniels would be a really good one. He had a very short stint with the Spurs.
Yeah.
You would get the legendary playground talk with Lloyd Daniels. I mean, that would be a good one. I don't think Rod Strickland was ever an award winner or even an all-star.
I think he was an all-star, but I don't know if he was an all-star with the Spurs. No, wait, no. Because he came from New York. It was New York, San Antonio, then he went to Portland, right?
Let me look it up.
Yeah, I don't think. Now I think about it, I don't think he was an all-star.
He hopefully he didn't win any award because so no, he's an All-NBA second teamer in 1998. So that eliminates him there.
Was he in San Antonio at that time?
Huh?
Was he in San Antonio in that time?
1998. Yeah, he was a Spur.
Yeah, he was a
that
Spur.
Was his. I think he got traded that year to San Antonio.
Okay.
So I'll give you mine. Now Willie Anderson was definitely mine. There's no doubt about that. But one that I really want to see on, kind of a not current, but former Spur, but more recently, give me a documentary on Jonathan Simmons.
Okay.
I want to learn I paid for my spot to try out.
Yeah.
I made it to the Austin Toros. I got to the main roster, and guess what? I would have been a major focal point on that title team with Kawhi Leonard and LaMarcus Aldridge when they were whooping Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors in that series before Kawhi's injury.
Yep.
He was a huge part of that season.
Mm-hmm.
And then he took what a lot of players do. You develop in the Spurs system, you excel in the Spurs system, you leave the Spurs system, and you never heard from again.
Yeah.
He signed a free agent contract with the Orlando Magic. I remember there was a guy on radio in San Antonio when I went on Twitter. He said, Jonathan Simmons is going to be an all-star in Orlando. And I said, pump your brakes. And I told him on Twitter, pump your brakes. He's not going to even be the same player. And I was called a dummy and an idiot because that Jonathan Simmons wasn't going to be an all-star. And I was saying, I was like, well, watch. He went away and fizzled out. I think a Jonathan Simmons documentary would be probably amazing to go to Orlando than the 76ers.
I thought of another name for
What's
a documentary. Bryn Forbes. That would
be a good one. He got ran out of San Antonio. I mean, that he did, but that would be a pretty good one.
Yeah, I think he's I gotta guess here. I think he's in South America playing in some South American league.
Yeah.
I think he is.
Yeah. I think he is too. Now thinking about it, I think he really is.
Costa Rica comes to mind.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say so. I think he is in the South American League. I have to look him up. There's a lot of good guys. The sports question we got for you guys before we leave here is, who do you guys want to see a documentary on? Now, again, you cannot have any accolades at all. So, like Rod Strickland was All NBA second team 1 year. I mean, that disqualifies him. You can't say, well, I'd love to see Tracy McGrady. Well, no, I mean, McGrady was an all-star. Moses Malone was an MVP. He was a Spur for a while there. You can't go anything like that. So we picked some guys there that would love to see. Willie Anderson would be a good one. Jonathan Simmons would be a good one. Who knows, Jeff? Maybe one day one of our documentary dreams will come true. Maybe you and I will get a documentary.
What about one on Boban?
That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
I got one. Zarko Paspai.
Yeah, that would be a good one. You can do a duel with him and Uwe Blob about Uwe Blob, because they were both
Zarko commissioned an artist in his home country to create a mural of Greg Popovich.
Really?
Yep. There's a mural of Greg Popovich I think he was from Yugoslavia. I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
But one of those European countries has a massive mural of Popovich.
Yeah, we can't get a statue of Poppin outside the Cross Bank Center. So hopefully when they do build that new arena, there's a few statues all around the place. You know, Timmy, Manu, David. You
think this person should have a ring of honor, kind of like the Cowboys? Like for those players that are not worthy of jersey retirement, but still right there on the cusp.
But you'd have to take down Avery Johnson and Bruce.
I'm fine with that.
Bruce Bowen. Are those the only two guys that are retired jersey numbers that you would take down?
I would take down Sean Elliott's.
Ooh, I would take down Sean Elliott. Sean was an all-star, a couple of years? I mean,
that's not enough, man.
It's more than what Avery and Bruce Bowen has.
Avery comes down, Bowen comes down.
So then Johnny Moore?
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, but
that was a sentimental thing.
He was a leader for San Antonio. I mean, for a good while.
But when I think jersey retirement, I think Timmy, Tony, Manu, Pop, David, Ice. You see where I'm going with this?
James Silas is up there.
Franchise player, Captain Late, yeah.
So I mean,
these are franchise style players.
I can't believe you say Sean Elliott.
I think he's like right there.
Oh man, I mean, what, 2-time All-Star, NBA champion, provided the biggest shot in Spurs history.
So did Robert Horry.
No,
Robert Horry, 2-time champion with the Spurs, hit one of the biggest shots in the NBA Finals for the Spurs. Perhaps one of the biggest hits in San Antonio Spurs history. Steve Nash. I mean, you can the same argument you can make for the Elliott. You can make the same for Robert Horry.
You could, but the same thing with Elliott is that you said Robert Horry hit the biggest shot in NBA Finals history for the Spurs. I say Elliott hit the biggest shot in Spurs history because that was the shot that got him, jump started into the finals against the Knicks that first year. So that led to their first title. Without the Memorial Day miracle, Spurs probably don't win.
Without Robert Horry's big shot against the Pistons,
they had Game 7.
Well, the Blazers still had a game, right? I think that game didn't kill the series.
I don't know I can't remember offhand. I don't think it did. You're right, but that's a good debate, man. Which shot is bigger, Big Shot Bob or Sean Elliott? And the other debate you could have on Spurs in Focus is, I would love to tear down Sean Elliott's jersey from retirement.
Ori has multiple big shots in the playoffs than Elliott does,
but not for San Antonio. It's multiple teams.
No, that's what I'm saying. For San Antonio, it wasn't just that big three that Ori hit. Remember, there was that big dunk he had. He had a big
game.
Dunk.
It was the same game.
Same game. Those are 2 shots though. He hit a clutch shot in the Lakers series when he was a Spur.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, the biggest hit in Spurs history.
Everybody got suspended for the next game.
Hey, Boris Diaw came off the bench. Stoudemire came off the bench. It wasn't for Ori in that move, that veteran savvy move. Who knows?
They probably don't win.
You hear that Nash has come out and said that he flopped on that?
I did not hear that.
Yeah, Nash has come out and said that he sold it.
Well, he would have been.
Hey, thank you, Nash, for selling it.
Yeah, that helped us tremendously there. Oh my God. Who would you guys want to see a documentary on? Would you guys want to see Sean Elliott's jersey taken down? Jeff does. So we may see
Okay,
him.
I have
at the
a
Frost
good
Bank.
one for you.
Okay.
Should Larry Brown be up there?
No.
You don't think so?
No. That's a tough one for me.
That really.
JC
You're not a
says
Larry
that-
Brown fan, are you?
Oh, I am. I
You
love
are?
Larry Brown.
Okay.
Yeah, I love Larry Brown. I wouldn't put him up there. Now, Ring of
John
Honor.
Lucas? No, not John
Yeah.
Lucas. No.
No, I mean a Ring of Honor. I would put a Ring of Honor. I'd have Larry Brown in the Ring of Honor, because then you can add Larry, Doug Moe, Stan Albeck. I mean, those guys. I think those guys would be worthy of getting in to a Ring of Honor for San Antonio. Says, did I hear statues plans or is in the works? Can we also get a zip line from the Rock to Six Flags? That would be a long zip line, wouldn't it be?
That
Jesus.
would be a long zip line.
Oh my God. Don't forget, guys, Jeff Garcia and myself will be back probably in about 30 minutes for Spurs in Focus. If not a little bit sooner, be sure to join us for Spurs in Focus. You can join on Spurs in Focus on YouTube.
It'll be a quick show, everybody, because there ain't nothing to talk about.
Not much there. Also, Answer Now TV, where you're watching the Sports Answer as well. Jeff, let everybody know what's going on Spurs in Focus, man.
Yeah, as Rudy said, we're going to have a live show in just a few minutes as soon as we put a wrap on this episode of the Sports Answer. But you also want to subscribe to Spurs in Focus on Substack. It is completely free. By the way, shout out former Spur Josh Richardson. He called it a career, Rudy.
He did.
Said, I'm done. He officially retired. Go see what he had to say about his retirement. It's on Spurs in Focus on Substack. Also, Wemby news, Spurs news. Also, something we're going to talk about in Spurs and on Spurs in Focus in just a few minutes. A new subscription to catch your Spurs games. Yeah, you may not like it. We're going to be discussing that in a few minutes. We want to catch up and read up on it. Go to Spurs in Focus on Substack and subscribe to Spurs in Focus on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Podcast, Pocket Cast. The list goes on and on. Go subscribe right now. Please do so ASAP. I would appreciate that.
There you go. Spurs in Focus, best in the business. Jeff Garcia, been doing this for a very long time. If you want to get focused, watch Spurs in Focus when it comes to the San Antonio Spurs. Derek Gervin and I will be back live in studio next week. We are working on a special guest. One of the Spurs that we've talked about in the past, one of our former, San Antonio Spurs players. We're talking to him to get him on the show. So be sure to be on the lookout for that. And again, be on the lookout for Spurs in Focus here live in probably the next 20, 30 minutes or so with Jeff Garcia and myself. Shout out to Navarro Roofing. Again, 210-680-5070. Call them today. Salem's around 210-526-3635. Both are the best in the business. Both are sponsors for us here at the Sports Answer. For Jeff Garcia, it's Rudy Campos Jr. When you have those sports questions, we have the Sports Answers. We'll see you guys next time.